All right, Temi, welcome to a new season. I'm sure you're so used to seeing me alone. But this episode, this season is different. We're going to be bringing something more interesting. Like I told you, keeping it real with Justadetoun is talking about what you've experienced, what your pains are, what you want somebody to learn. This is not just a podcast where we just want to gist. We think we could influence each other by telling you what everybody has gone through. Everybody has a story to tell, but not everybody has the energy to tell their story. So this season, you need to click on the link down below, subscribe, tell somebody to tell somebody because you're going to be hearing our experience. So welcome to a new season, my experience. And right here, I have people who have also experienced similar things like I have experienced. So let it not be like, now only me. No, not be only me. Susan has a story to tell. Seyi is right here in the house. He has his own story to tell. And the same Ksolo that you all see on blogs, you see him on the comment section. A lot of you haven't seen him. At least for the first time, we're going to get Ksolo to open up and tell us his own story. He also had a very, very dirty experience and you don't want to miss it. So welcome to the new season, My Experience. So what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about trolls, bullies, and the emotional aftermath of your typing and your puncturing and your emojis on human beings' mental health. Social media has become a place where everybody wants to be same with everybody because we all share the same community. Yes, but respect. Yes, you can also say, there are sometimes I also don't respect politicians. I just say the way it is, like I'm paying. So I talk, but I try as much as possible not to talk on my fellow human beings like the way I address our animalistic politicians who have looted our country and messed everything up and made my fellow Nigerians to run away like what the Japa syndrome is up, the Japa loan is up, the Japa prayer is up, the Japa movement is up. Kí ló dé ede jeluru pa àwọn èèyàn de sálọ. They don't even think say ile oh, don't preach that. See Sunny Ade, they need to want King Sunny Ade. Oh. That song that King Sunny Ade sang that is our Nigeria. Hey, anyway, I trust out of respect and love. Nothing will happen to Uncle Sonny, but Uncle Sonny Ade, that song, don't repeat it again.
Nigeria is still our country.
Nigeria is still our country, Abi.
Tí gbogbo wa náà ṣe.
Nigeria yìí tí gbogbo wa ni. Kò má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́.
You want me to go into my studio voice now?
Torí kò sí ibòmíràn tí a lè lọ. Susan, shall we say you understand you?
Yes.
I finish the song.
No, not finish.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká sowọ́pọ̀ ká fìmọ̀ ṣọ̀kan. Gbé kájọ gbé. So your bullying, your typing, your trolling, do you think it goes down well with some people? Do you think it's everybody that has a threshold? RIP to late Sonny Okposo. You know, by the time they finished with that one, he went out of the box and went into the box. And from the box, RIP, bro, we love you. And a lot of us don't want to go into that. A lot of people, I'm sure you don't want to go into that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want to go into that. And that's why we're trying to speak out so that when you're coming to type, you use your pen or your keypad, whatever it is, to think that you want to express how pained you are, demoralizing somebody, tampering with their family health, tampering with their mental health. You have to understand that it goes beyond that. You put your comment, you put your attack, and you just walk away. Some of them even use fake pages. Like their fake pages are so. You can imagine one person having like 50 pages. Kilo de show gulayeni, and then you just drop your words, and you don't know how far those words are going. You don't know what part of the body the words are hitting, whether it is the brain, whether it's just see it and ignore.
Me personally, I feel this topic you want to talk about today is very, very sensitive, and
I know.
And like I said some few minutes ago. Some people might be laughing when this is going down, but some of us is going to be frowning. Somewhere like me, I'm not going to be smiling at all.
Why? Kilo de? Then come and come beat you.
Oh, man.
Papa, where they beat, where break herself. He still they make people happy in the midst of everything.
But truly, it's terrible. I'm just going to give a little part of what happened to me. I had a bad press during. Let me say, was it a relationship? Though it wasn't. It was a marriage.
You were legally married.
Supposed,
You had a child together.
No. So and the matter, I'm gonna speed it up so that everybody can share their stories. So, and at the time the bad press came up, there was no Instagram. It was just Facebook then. And I think Twitter was available then, was around then. And the story came out. And it was a period where journalists are idolized as gods. those years, when you see journalists, you prostrate for them. The likes of Meyo Akinpelu,
Yes.
the likes of
Tunde Moshood,
Sheye Kehinde, the likes of Kunle Bakare, the likes of Linda Ikeji.
Kunle Bakare has a nickname.
Then at the time,
there's a nickname they call him.
At that time, Linda Ikeji was a demigod, you know, because she locked up the internet spheres. She was, you know, so at that point it was terrible because now we can sue. Then nobody was saying that you could sue anybody. When they write your story, you know, when a journalist writes your story and they're still calling you, I've written, no, won't you come and talk? You know, they're still threatening you, you know, at that time. Now, what broke me at the time was I was outside working on Timaya. At that time, I picked Kefi, the late Kefi, you know. She had some issues with her marriage.
Okay, so you worked with a lot of artists too.
You know, so I picked up Kefi then. She had issues with her marriage. I was receiving threats from the guy's family. That's Alec Music. Alec Godwin was the husband then, you know. Threats from the family that we abandoned this girl, you get carry they do this, they like, I'm a businessman and I don't care what happens with her. My own is I like her voice and I believe in her dream, you know. At that time, I personally gave my car for her because she had no car. She was jumping on bike. At that time, we done Branama. Branama was popular in the church, you know. No, then, you know, when you walk to somebody like that, like people did not believe in and got her to that level that people now, you know, Kefi is the only first gospel artist that sang on Eddie's stage as a gospel artist. She's the first gospel artist that won Best Female Artist, Best Song of the Year on that same and performed on that place. So I sold that to the world, not just as a gospel artist, like, you know, this is a musician full time.
So at what point did the bullying
now
come
you
in?
now imagine when you've worked on people like that and story dropped, and the story was Ksolo beat his wife.
Hey,
you know, and
action.
There was a lot of makeups, and you know, Nigerians always like the first shot, but they don't listen to the other part of the story.
But you know that thing is true. People will never wait and say, okay, let's wait for the next person. The next thing you see, let's buy popcorn. It won't happen. They will even judge the case
now
before you.
When I wanted to do my own part, now to talk, you can imagine you drop the story about me and I'm contacting you, do the same blog. Let me drop my own part of it and you are not ready to talk to me. And like, what's happening?
Of course, I won't be ready
because what sells most of the time.
What they've dropped will drag trolls to will drag traffic to the
page.
So she doesn't, or he or she doesn't want to hear.
And those days, I remember all those soft cells. They used to call them soft cells.
Yeah, soft cells.
By that Alausa, Oregun, Allen Avenue, Ikeja Underbridge. That's their zone. I see everybody just picking the papers and they want to read, you know.
And you know something is that people always a lot of people don't give the benefit of a doubt. And another thing that I've also noticed is that people make their own projections on you. You know, most especially from what
they define you. They don't allow you to define yourself.
Exactly, you know. And then those who really know you don't come out to defend you.
Who wants to
because
talk?
Because the outcry of the people who are talking will even silence them, and they will just tell you, "Shut up, waiting you sabi."
Now let me add this to this. Let me add this. So when the story came out and went all viral like that, people you worked on, you know, for people to call you and like, my clients disappeared. Everybody that, even the people that are brought up, started pulling out, and like, few people were not, just few people that were around.
So what was the center? You beat your wife was the problem. So they didn't allow you explain whether it ever happened or not.
Now, do you know the worst part of it? The story dropped on Monday, and on Saturday, this same person you said I beat, that said I beat her. I was on China's television, you know, like we're seated together like this. And you know what? I was supposed to be for an interview, sunrise interview, you know, and she decided, okay, let me go with you, you know. And apparently, some things are still I can't get the picture right because, you know, I actually feel what happened was, you know, she was feeling intimidated by some female fans that are actually close to me, and feel like somebody's actually closer to me and feels like, okay, good, I can only bring this thing down. If you don't stop your relationship with this person, this was going to happen.
It was much.
Yes, and in the picture of that, she actually said she was pregnant, which I had no claim for, Now, I went for that interview and she said she wanted to go with me. Fine, go now. You get, so and we got to the interview and she said, this interview that we are just holding it. I mean, no, like what she said was joke. It was not like, can't you see her face? There's no beating.
There's
no beating. There's nothing.
So
like
she changed the narrative herself.
So she actually made them believe that you beat her.
You beat her.
So she was the reason. They said there's no smoke without fire.
Now, do you now understand? There's one thing you need to understand is this. Now, after beating that narrative, do you know that Nigerians still go back on the internet?
Because it never forgets.
Now only God know the juju way you take nag this girl.
No, a lot of
If
people
I tell a lot of celebrities that call me,
I need to feel Sheyi's pulse.
Sike.
Please stretch your hand.
See,
Daddy Tiwa, I need to feel like, is there still blood?
people called me
Susan,
like
tap Sheyi, tap Sheyi.
Ksolo. Casey called me that time.
Ksolo,
He
tap
said,
Sheyi, tap
he
Sheyi.
said, bro,
Blood day.
what you do? As in,
Blood
how?
day.
How do you
Blood
run
see
this
there,
thing?
Sheyi body. Sheyi, blood day your body so. Ha. So basically you had a fair experience because those days the Gen Zs were still wearing pampers.
A lot of them are still meeting the story. A lot of them are still saying the
but
story.
it's not as
One
bad
man
as
at the
this
airport
day.
and was asking me, Trill, did you do that? And I'm like, do what?
Yeah, because the internet never forgets.
The internet never forget, but the social media that we are now, it's like every day new stories keep coming up. But it's easy for you because some people will never get to hear about that story. The few ones who were concerned, whoever read that, showed interest in your person, maybe because they see you commenting on social and say, who is this Ksolo Seyi? What does he do? They will now go back and Google and find that out. But so that's why I said your own, it be like say you better small.
So your own is about you beating your wife. Mine was about a phone. Say I buy BlackBerry Porsche those days.
Linda carry you that time now.
Yeah.
It be like say
Linda, they beat it
I
through
forgot the
everybody
name
out.
of this guy now. It's some other guy too. Those days he has a blog. He just saw me at a friend's birthday party at Civic Center. I was about to even entering the car, and he's like, Susan, you carry a Porsche.
you steal phone.
And I say, yes, I just bought it. So he's like, let him take a picture. So I just innocently posed and like that and took the picture. And
So it wasn't as if you stole a phone.
No.
It was like you bought what was more than you.
How
Okay.
is it more than me?
Now
to
that
them,
was the
now, to them.
narrative.
So, okay, so the problem now is he put it on his own blog and he just said, once you're big, that kind of talk. And just like hailed me and hyped me, and saying that me and one other actress are the only two people that had the phone at that time. And it was fine. And then this particular person went to that blog, picked the picture, didn't even give credit to the person she picked the picture from. Now put it on her page and then coined some what they call it, heading. And an average Nigerian, we don't they house, we know they work, we know they earn money, we know get see money. So in his mind is saying, why you go carry that kind of money, buy that kind of phone. Meanwhile, I have an NGO called Benue Pikin Foundation. I've been doing that foundation by myself since 2002. I mean, they donate, go give charity. They know they write that one. No. I don't get award from America. I don't get award from UK. I don't get many awards from Nigeria. They know they write that one. No.
You know why?
Then the small one where I just do, you just carry them. You just go put and come twist the mind of Nigerians.
You know why you're not in the spotlight for all those things? Because I realized that a lot of these bloggers, whatever they want to write about you, must be interesting to pull crowd and pull adverts.
Okay, no.
So because you're doing charity, you realize a lot of people who do charity, they have to pay to post it just to project their work.
Okay. So
I'm sure you've seen that. So you very rare would you see a blogger just pick up a story and say, let's appraise this person. This person is doing well. Even if that blogger posts you for free, they will still say you paid because everybody feels like, well, if you're doing your charity, it's from your free will. You shouldn't come and let us know about it.
Yes.
But when they hear Susan Peters caught in a hotel with Chief Ngbangba,
it goes let's
Please finish that story.
That will not even pay me. They can't begin the keyboard warriors as usual. They begin the insults. Hey, she carry rent, money, pay this thing. She carries salary of 3 months, do this thing. Me, I not even saying because me, normally I don't go to blogs. I know they even follow blogs, self. I know they go blogs, I know some certain people will go, they comment anonymous and all. I don't do it. So Somebody now came on Twitter and wrote me and said, Susan, what you do so person? They insult you for so place. I said, no problem. And they never bring and come my doorstep. So I'll just ignore. And they now brought it on Twitter, on my page.
And Twitter is a deadly place.
I flipped. Because I'm like, why would I drink Panadol for my headache? I mean, get phone.
Twitter
no
now
money. Is it your
No, but
money?
social media helps people to drink Panadol on their pains now.
People insulted me. In fact, that time they were like, who is she? Is she the actress? They don't even know me, self. Blah, blah, blah. That post had like 10,000 and more comments for one post. So after everything happened, this particular person, she kept quiet. Her people now they insult me. When he finished,
is this particular person a blogger?
I beg, now blogger she be, but I beg.
What's the person's name now?
What's the person's name now? That's why we are here. Let
Who's
us
the person
go.
now?
What's the person? If she sue you, we go.
Who's the person?
Sometimes we need
Linda
to call
Keji.
these people.
Okay, so it was Linda Ikeji. Yeah,
So-
because Linda was the
so
one holding
she
space
now-
at that
She
time.
now sent me a DM and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. The industry. You need to keep your head up. Blah 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 blah. Some talk." So I'm like, so I wear them.
Did they whine you, Abby?
So where them see now said to me, say, Susan, why she go send you private DM? Something will happen where everybody don't hear. Say tell people they come and say, so you fit even reply Linda Ikeji. You see, some of my colleagues are calling me. I say, she be masquerade. I don't do anything wrong. Now phone, I not thief the phone. You now write something finish. You now they message me, they say, you are sorry. Instead of make you for post them publicly. So my MC now said, Susan, munch it and post it on
Your page.
on Twitter. So I now munched it.
Oh,
I now
shit.
posted it on Twitter.
Fire.
It still now ignites at World War III. So I think she posted this, maybe was it on a Friday or a Thursday? On a Sunday, she now did another post. Was I wrong to apologize to Susan Peters? Come and see, journalists now started bashing. They were bashing me from anywhere. Who do I think I am? Even Jay-Z and Beyonce, they write about them. You can't write about Jay-Z and Beyonce anyhow. They go see your ass.
You finish. You are done.
Yes. You can't just write anyhow. So
You
my
are
point
done.
is, why not celebrate? You feel they write the bad stuff, but also write the good stuff.
That people are doing.
So if you are assuming that to get big phone, now bad stuff. So when the person do also good thing, write about it.
But
Because of that issue now,
trolling and bashing brings more money than praising and appreciating. Are you aware of that?
Which money?
Trolling people
Where the money
brings
is?
more money.
you-
It brings
you
more
know-
traffic.
let
Where
me
the
say
money
something. A lot of this bad habit has been commercialized.
True, I
A
agree.
lot of the bad
One is with
habit
an intention.
that we see
That's
on
why I
the
just said it.
internet
That trolling and bashing
has
brings
been
more money, brings more traffic
commercialized.
to their page.
like now during the last election, one of the things that I noticed is, you see, I'm somebody that sorry I had to call him. I respect Peter Obi as a man. I watched him on the platform by the CCC church, and I love his personality and all those stuff. But I had my choice.
You didn't buy the product.
You
didn't. No, it's simple. You couldn't
yes,
buy his product.
I love,
Okay.
but there are certain things that didn't convince me to buy his product. And now I saw my colleagues in the industry, you understand, who probably genuinely bought his product. But one of the things that they did was to commercialize it, that product. And in commercializing the product, they know that if they take their commercialization of the product to Twitter, it will backfire because people will question it. And so they had to hide in a place where people cannot question their commercialization of that product, and which is Facebook. A lot of these influencers, they started doing videos. You do videos once, hey, come and see, don't talk another one, no, this one, that one. You post on Facebook, a monetized page, monetize it, because you were fanning the hate for the people on the other side.
Let me ask, politics has come as gone. And for me, it was a season of game players. That's what I call it, because I see that it's not a period where we can really take a decision on the next level. It's like it's a season for some people to come on board and play their game. Peter Obi, you couldn't buy his product, despite the fact that everybody saw Peter Obi as the savior, the hero, just like we saw Buhari that time where we wanted change. I'm sure Buhari's season sold change.
Just like some people saw Buhari
Some people, you didn't vote Buhari.
Exactly.
Me, I didn't even.
didn't.
Me too.
That time, I
didn't.
never even understand what to. As I grow rich, born picky rich, I never understand what it means to use my card to make change. So, what did your candidate sell that you bought? What point? What was the selling point?
Okay, for somebody like me, for example, I schooled in Lagos, and I always tell people, Tinubu became the governor of Lagos State right before my eyes, and I saw Lagos transform before my eyes, and these are things that I could defend as a person. And now let me say, this is the reason why I say I could defend all these things. I'm going to state the journey. Those days I was used to taking Molue from Orile to Obalende, and then you take the small buses to Victoria Island. You know? And I remember that my school is right behind the Zenith Bank headquarters now. And I knew when they were building those places, and I knew the place that we call Oniru today used to be Maroko Sandfield. And they used to sell fishes and nail and wood around those places.
I remember.
Those places were dead. And then I remember that the place where we have Oriental Hotel now
Today.
and the Civic Center and all those places used to be dump sites.
Dump site, yeah.
Where they found dead bodies every other day until those places were given to Oriental and Demovia, and then they built the Civic Center, and then transformation came to that area. And then that Morocco that Mobolaji Johnson had tried to chase the people away from, and he couldn't, and Tinubu came, and these people were taking off the place, and then we saw new buildings rising in those places. And those new buildings, as they were rising, they were motivations to us secondary school students looking at those places and saying, wow,
change.
One day, me too, I figure house for this. See houses now, see cars now. These things were inspiring
us.
Memories. You know, it was inspiring us. And then I remember that before Tinubu even came on board in 1998, Redeem had done a program at Lekki Beach called Lekki 98 Divine Visitation. And when they finished that event at the Lekki Beach, we were trekking. We had to trek from that place to Falomo to go and take a bus to Obalende because there was serious traffic. It was a single lane road and it was narrow. And so there was traffic everywhere.
Did you experience all these things in Lagos? Because you don't come Lagos State.
Yes, of course. I did.
I need you to allow me say this thing. And then the place that we call Osapa, London today, that Jakonde area today, people were going there to hunt for crocodiles and they were catching fish in those areas. That place that we call Osapa today. Those places were swamps. So I saw those places move from being swamp to becoming city. So I experienced it. Nobody told me. And then I saw Ahmadu Bello Way. You see that Ahmadu Bello Way? I remember how Babish, we used to go to and how the water used to overflow its bank. And then they used to say that it was the IMB building that was shining lights.
Yes.
So maybe
the eyes of the Mami Waters.
Maybe you should have done a documentary of how you transformed into the new Lagos before announcing, like, I'm buying this product because of this, so I'm not buying Peter Obi because of this, so I'm buying my candidate Tinubu because maybe if you had brought that kind of land. But this generation, do they even have the patience to They are not thinking Gen Z. They are not thinking Gen Z.
Understand is this, a lot of the young people couldn't separate politics from leadership. And that is where we have problem. When you don't understand that you can criticize a leader, but you cannot denigrate the nation. And then when you understand that politics shapes your life, because politics are the things that determine the policies that are made that influences your life. And for now, talking about policies from my candidate, the person I supported, Asiwaju, in Lagos then, there was every tendency that you drive in Lagos and you see a dead body on the road.
Yes.
And then when Tinubu came, there were very few. I think Lagos had about 2 ambulances. Tinubu came and then they started the Lasamba, the ambulance stuff, and then
Yes, that's true.
Then from what you just said, I think the problem with we citizens is they always feel like once you are criticizing the government, you can't come back to say, okay, I'm still supporting this person. They feel like once you're criticizing the government, you are fighting them. You shouldn't support every other thing they do. You shouldn't be part of the system. I think that is one of the problems that we have in this country. So if you are saying what you just said now, you are giving your own reason because you grew up and you saw transformation in Lagos State. People in Calabar, people in Edo will also say, okay, Obudu Ranch was not there. Obudu Ranch was this. We also saw Obudu Ranch. Kano people will talk. Idoma people will talk. Ogun State people will talk. Everybody will say, but now, this is a national matter. Tinubu came out and said he wanted to be the president of the country, not coming back to be. So why didn't you have reasons to now push further and say, okay, national matter is different? Because what everybody just keep on saying is Lagos is different from Nigeria.
Now, that's why I said policy.
And that's why they beat you blue black.
That is where I said
one no emotions there.
Your candidate.
No,
The problem is the party.
I need to explain something. You see, that is where I said policies and politics come to play.
Yes.
And there is a difference in leadership, politics, and the policies that they make.
Wait, Shey, see who is talking. See me, I'm saying that they beat you blue black. What did they do to me?
now you need to understand something. Like one of the things, one day I was talking to somebody who was supporting Peter Obi, and there was one simple question I asked. I said, what are the policies that Peter Obi made that transcended Anambra? That transcended your state to other states? If you talk about policies, when we talk about IGR, Tinubu was able to shape the IGR generation in Lagos, and some of these policies were adopted by about 13 to 15 states.
Picked it, Abi.
You understand? And then the issue of Loma, how
Loma
PSP came into Loma, has been adopted by several other states. And then we'll talk about
the Thursday
LASMA.
environmental too was stolen.
We talked about LASMA, which is traffic management. And don't forget that
Other
traffic
states
management used to be under the Nigerian police force, which is controlled by the federal. And then they had to look at the policies then and look for loophole to be able to challenge it in court for them to be able to create LASMA.
Yes.
That state roads should be managed by state body, state agency.
Yes.
And this has been adopted by almost 13 other states. Fire
Yeah,
services and all those stuff has been adopted by other states.
With this few points of ours.
But what are the policies
with
from
this-
this
That's why you're
with
coming
this
here to
viewpoint-
campaign for
with
a
this
candidate
viewpoint
point
of
of
yours.
yours.
No, we're not
You still
Sis,
received bashing.
sis, I want to hear you, please.
We're not campaigning because campaign don't finish.
You don't finish.
The problem where we get, and I'm sure every other Nigerian had the problem. We didn't have problem. Yes, there was a problem with your candidate because first of all they're saying his health, condition, but they have a problem with the party. Why are they always recycling? Why?
No,
Why can we not?
But now I have a problem with what you just said because every party, all the parties that existed in Nigeria are doing the same thing.
They are all recycled. They are all
PDP to recycle.
Hold on. I'm going to say this. Hold on.
See, it's where you don't hear election for Nigeria. You don't
Yes.
ever hear another party where don't come up beat APC and PDP.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the same
You
thing I'm
don't ever hear?
saying. That's the same thing
I
now.
tell you now.
Now, do you
No.
know what my own ideology about this? I feel until when Nigeria begin to practice that same Democrat and Republican kind of governance, a lot will change. Now imagine a Peter in APC.
Why are we even wasting time?
And you
Susan,
we
are talking
you get
about
what I'm
4
saying?
different umbrellas.
You get what I'm
and
saying?
because rain is beating you here, one will run to this
You run
umbrella.
to-
and
you run-
they are all the same
I'm
people.
not saying that they
They
should
are-
put these same people. they should give room to the.
It's their profession. I've come to
No,
realize
no,
that
no,
politics is a
finish.
profession.
That's my problem.
Finish. They
Why
should
must
give
they
room
have-
to who?
Make them give room to other people.
Which
Where
other
they-
people?
where
These
they
people
younger.
are called
Please, ma, please,
gerontocrats.
I want to finish that
Why
one.
is it that we must have old person as a president?
They are all
Please, the
gerontocrats.
question I want to ask you is how many young people is ready or they are
They
actually
don't give them chance. What did they talk?
which chance?
Okay,
They don't give them chance.
no,
Which
I'm
chance?
Now
gonna
one
say
they
this.
bully each other again. They
Hold
don't
on,
want to say
hold
all
on,
of una.
hold on.
All the youths that live in
Oh.
Nigeria, many of us just want to make money and live our life and enjoy
That's
it.
not true. It's not everybody.
Let me
It's
explain
not
to you.
everybody that has
See,
Japa
it has been like that. That's the reason why you find that
See.
how many lettered illiterates do you find in politics?
Even with the Japa
Many of us don't do
Even
it.
with the
so-
Japa syndrome, why are you
See,
in Nigeria?
many of us don't do it.
Hold on.
oh.
Even with the
Let
Japa
me say
syndrome, why are you in
something.
That's why you
Nigeria?
find out
Can I
that
say something?
illiterates are the one that dominate all this part this
Let me
place.
even say something.